Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha. I'm coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me for one of these before, you don't know what I do. I am a love coach for women who are trying to stay and reconcile and work things out after infidelity. You've been cheated on, but you still love this person. You still want to be with them. You're still leaning towards keeping your family together. There's a whole bunch of reasons. Mainly, it's this is your love story and you think it's not quite over, even though he's trying to make it be, even though he is giving you a hard time about it. You still believe in your story. All right. And I believe in your story. If you believe in your story, I fully believe in you and I back you too. I believe that if this is your love story and you're not ready for it to be over, I believe that you can make it work. I do. And I know that because I did it myself 16 years ago. It was the last D-Day, not the first, but the last D-Day with me and my husband. And we have been doing better and better and better ever since. But I had to get over that hump. I had to get over the idea that I couldn't stay. Then I had to get past the idea that this wasn't fair and this shouldn't have happened. And how could he do this if he loved me? All of the things. I've gotten through all of the things that you are going through right now. And I know how to get past them to your happy ending. Okay. I'm living my happy ending. I am the main character in this story. I am getting my happy ending, exactly the ending that I wanted with the person that I wanted. So I believe in that fully. And I think that if you feel that way about your person, I can help you get to that happy ending. All right. All righty, y'all. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I can see everything. If you're here with me now, give me likes, give me love. If you're here with me on the replay, give me likes and love, but also say hashtag replay just to let me know that you got here a little late. But hey, we don't worry about late. I'm always a little bit late. I'm not going to be mad at you if you're late. All right. All right. But make sure you give me lots of likes. Let the algorithm know that you like me. You want to see me again. All right, beautiful. So I am always going to tell you about the things that you can do all on your own to start to heal this trauma. Because that's what this was. This was a trauma. This is something terrible that happened to you that had an impact on your body and your brain. And if you can actually do something about that part, about the trauma part, about the effects on you, you're going to have a much easier time moving forward with the relationship, having a good relationship after this. Okay. But we've got to take care of the wound first. We've got to take care of this trauma that has happened first. So the very first thing that we're always going to do to try and help this trauma is do your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? If you have not, you need to come on over here and do a little deep breathing with me because we are going to show you. We're going to show you by doing it that it is much, much better. It lowers your blood pressure, lowers your pulse, makes things feel a little bit better, a little bit easier when you do your deep breathing, okay? Very simple thing that is going to affect you deeply, okay? It's a very simple thing and people forget it on a regular basis. That's why I always make sure that I tell you about it every time we get together and do it with you because I want to remind you about how important it is. It is super important because when your body has been through a trauma, your brain sends out certain signals. It makes you feel like there's always an emergency. If you take back over control of your breathing, you are showing your body and your brain that there is no emergency. There is no need for you to get upset. Everything is all right. Things are fine. And then that lets you be able to get to the next day, the next minute, the next little bit of healing with your honey because you are not letting that fearful reaction be your whole life. Okay. Very, very simple thing to do. It changes what's going on in your body. That's going to help you. Okay. So we're going to do our deep breathing. What we do is we do 4-7-8 breathing. And you can do whatever pattern you'd like. I don't care as long as you're doing it. Okay. 5 times a day, doing your specific breathing pattern 5 times in a row. Okay. It's not a lot, okay? It's a couple of minutes of doing this a day, but it helps you maintain. It helps bring that anxiety level down to a more manageable level, keeps it a level that you can work with. And then every time you do it, you're pushing it down a little bit further, getting more and more in control of yourself. And then you're not on that terrible roller coaster of emotions that this trauma has brought you to, okay? So we're gonna do our deep breathing. We do 4, 7, 8. Blow out first. Exhale, and get all of that air out of your lungs. I'm gonna inhale for a count of 4. Usually I say through your nose, but you can breathe through your mouth. It doesn't matter to me. Hold that breath for a count of 7. We're gonna take a few seconds and let our bodies use the oxygen that we just breathed in. If we go, that's hyperventilating. Your body doesn't have a chance to use it. But if we hold that breath, it gives it a couple more minutes or a couple more seconds for our body to use it. And then we're going to blow out like we're blowing out birthday candles. And we're going to make the noise when we blow out. You are going to teach your body and your brain that that sound is the sound of I am in control of myself. I am calming down. That will be the sound that you hear. And it's an interesting thing as you do this, your honey will notice you doing it too. And they'll be like, ooh, okay, you having to do your deep breathing. What I do wrong? They'll start paying attention more because you are working on your own thing and they have an opportunity to pay attention to it and make the connection like, huh, all right, I did say something kind of stupid just now. And she didn't even like flip out at me. She just did this sequence of breathing. That's how she's handling it now. It'll be a very interesting thing. Watch what happens. Even my husband, if he sees me getting anxious, if he sees me starting to get a little worked up, I don't very often, but when I do, he will stop me and he'll be like, hey, do your deep breathing. So it will help you and it helps you connect to each other a little bit better too. All right. So we're going to do it 3 times in a row, but like I said, 5 times a day in your regular practice. All right. We are going to do it together. Come on along and do it with me. First things first, we're going to blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you do your deep breathing? Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know how it feels inside your body. What we are trying to do is take back over control. Our our bodies will give us an automatic response to trauma, and it is a wonderful thing. It is a beautiful thing that it does that. However, it is not good for maintaining a relationship. The things that we do when we are traumatized, when we are on autopilot, are things that are survival of the fittest things. They are just, I am trying to survive. I don't care about anybody else. It's just about me. And a relationship isn't that. So we've got to get out of that survival mode and into a more thriving mode so that we're able to have a good relationship with one another. All right. So the first thing to do is do your deep breathing. Do that 5 times a day. I promise you it'll start to change things faster than you notice. Okay. Then the next thing that I'm always going to tell you to do every time we get together is do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? Have you been sitting down, giving yourself 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening to write about your feelings, to talk about what's going on inside your head, to get things down on a paper, to talk about the triggers? Anything? Have you been doing your journaling? Let me know. I see y'all over here on Facebook. I don't think anybody's on Instagram, but let me know. Have you been doing your journaling? If you're not doing your journaling, what you doing? Why are we not doing our journaling if we're not doing it? Okay, let me know. All right. We need to sit down with ourselves and have that little bit of time. It's a little self care time. It is a little bit of time to have moments with our thoughts so that we are not obsessing all day. We are giving our time, our body and our brain time to sit and reflect upon things, to talk about our emotions, to be focused on how this is going. Okay. You giving yourself that time. And so then during the day, you can just say to your body and your brain, hey, we're not tending to that right now. We have regular journaling times where we can think about that type of stuff, stress about what is happening. We can do that a little bit later, but I got other things to do now. I have a job, I have a family, I have stuff to do. I cannot be thinking about this trauma all day, every day. It is a very useful tool for that. If you do your journaling and you schedule your journaling, then you can schedule the time when your brain is going to be like really obsessing about it. It will focus on the time when you're actually sitting down to write. All right. A couple things you need for your journaling. You need your date, you need your time, you need your level of anxiety. Okay. You need those three things every time. Date and time at the beginning and the end of each journal entry so you have an idea about when things happen. All right. I'm sorry, date and time at the beginning, and then your level of anxiety at the beginning and the end of each journaling session, because it will tell you how much the journaling actually helped you. You will start off at a 7 and end up at a 5. That's a good 2 points for 5 minutes of writing. That's a lot of improvement in your mood, in your disposition for a very little investment. And I don't want you to feel like these have to be huge things that you're doing all the time. If you're just consistent with them and do these small things, they are effective. And then it starts to bring that anxiety level down. And then that helps you along the way. It helps you feel less anxious. It helps you feel less afraid. It helps you feel less anger and bitterness. So it's very, very good. Get into the habit of doing your journaling. Level of anxiety, 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. All is right with the world. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. I am out of control of myself. You are not sitting there at your journal at a 10, okay? You can rest assured you are not at a 10 if you are sitting down with your journal open, pen in hand, ready to write. You are not in the right mindset to do that if you're at a 10, okay? So if you write down a 10, it had to be later. Later on, you wrote down, you're like, earlier I was at 10. I was losing my mind. I was throwing things. I was flipping out in here. I did not have control over myself. You can write it down later, but you can't write it in the moment. Okay. That's a rule. It will let you know that you're exaggerating a little bit on how you're feeling because you have a very specific set of criteria. If you're not out of control, it's not a 10. That's just not where you are. You're maybe at a 9, sure, but you're not at a 10. And that starts to make it so that the anxiety, that the pain, the trauma cannot get bigger than a 10. It cannot be Godzilla size. It cannot do that. It can only be a 10. It can only be as bad as me losing control of myself. It can't get any bigger or badder than that. And then that's a good way to be able to handle that monster. Okay. And being able to recognize that that monster can never get but so big helps you to be able to battle it. All right. Yeah, doing your level of anxiety at the beginning and the end. And it doesn't matter what you use. Doesn't matter what you use. Get a journal. Get one that's 99 cents. Get one that costs $27. I don't care as long as you're writing in it. That's the whole thing. Okay. I got this beautiful, gorgeous leather-bound journal, and I haven't written a thing in it. Okay. It only helps you if you write in it. Okay. I got a little thing for stationery. I like to buy stuff like that, but then I don't use it. I always use the cheap journals, the cheap ones, the ones that came from, well, this one came from Five Below. Doesn't matter. Just something cute that you can sit down and write in and that you'll enjoy writing in. This will remind me to write in it because it's a fuzzy butterfly. I remember to write it. All right. All right, so that's the next thing. The third thing that we're always going to talk about every time we get together is to develop an attitude of gratitude. Have you been grateful this week? Have you been thinking about your good things? I see nobody put anything for Thirsty Thursday. I always want to hear on Thirsty Thursday about the good things that are going on in your life, the things that you are grateful for. I see that you're here with me. Come on, give me some good stuff so I can report some good things about y'all this week. I want to hear the good stuff that's going on. I always want to shout you out on the live because you all are experiencing this pain and it seems like there's nothing other than the pain. But if you can be grateful for things, even amidst the pain is less. Your brain will start looking for things to be grateful for instead of things to be scared of that are possibly going to hurt it. You will be looking towards the good and the positive if you are looking towards being grateful. Okay. So I want you to do this for me. If you're here with me, give me something good that you're positive about this week, something that you're grateful that happened. I get such good, nice messages from my honey now. He just tells me he's in love with me, and I'm just the most wonderful thing that's ever happened to him. He gasses me right up. He really does. He just sends me random stuff from work when I know that he's busy because he cooks. So, like, he's using his hands and it's hot. He probably shouldn't have his phone out, but he will take a couple of seconds and just write me the sweetest little love notes. And he did it this morning. And it just was like, ah. That's exactly what I always wanted. I wanted him to be doing stuff like that. And he does it for me now. All the little things that I used to be like, I wish he did that. I wish he did that for me. Like, he does it now. So, like, I know how to get to that point. So being grateful gets you there faster. All right. So give me something good if you're with me today. Tell me something positive that has been happening in your life. Because when you're traumatized, your brain seeks out something negative. It is always looking for the negative because it's looking for the next thing that will hurt you. How can I prevent this body from experiencing any more pain? That's what your brain is thinking. All right. But the unfortunate part about that is when you live in that state, everything hurts because you don't want to be close to people, and being close to people is what makes us feel better a lot of the time. So you will push away from people and try and hide yourself away just because this reaction is happening inside you. I don't want you to be at the mercy of that reaction anymore. If you start looking for things to be grateful for, your brain can't argue with great gratitude. It cannot argue with that. You can say, sometimes people have a hard time believing good things. It happens very, very often. People have a really hard time believing and accepting good things. So if you can just raise it to the level of gratitude, things that you are thankful for, it doesn't necessarily have to be a good thing. You're just thankful. You're just grateful. It elevates the feeling of inside you, your heart. It elevates those feelings so that it's not all negative, and then your brain can look for something other than the negative all the time. Okay. So it's really important. I want you all to be practicing this on a regular basis. Talk to yourself about things that you are grateful for. Okay. And you can do little things to help yourself. Like if you can commit to doing like 28 days of just saying a couple of things that you're grateful for and putting them in a jar and then coming back and reading them after that month. Or like this, for me, is a gratitude reminder. It is to remind me to be grateful. It is to look for something when I see it. It is to look for something to be conscious of being grateful in the moment. So every time I catch sight of this, and sometimes when I catch sight of the tan line from it, it reminds me to get into that state of mind and try and be grateful for something. All right. And the last thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, I'm going to be like a broken record player. Stop asking all those questions. Oh, Lord, please stop asking them. Okay. I promise you there's no healing to be found in any of those questions. I promise you that. I know that your brain is telling you that if you get all of the questions answered, then you're going to feel better. Then you're going to be able to heal. There will be space for healing. You'll have all of the truth, and that is going to help you heal. And I'm here to call malarkey on that. I'm here to tell you that that is not so. That is not even real that your brain is saying that. Your brain is saying that just to collect as much information about this trauma as it can. That's the only reason it's telling you that. It is not attempting to help you heal. It has absolutely no desire for you to do that. There is not an automatic response in our bodies and our brains for healing. It's not automatic. It is automatic to protect ourselves from further pain. We don't have the automatic thing to heal. So if it keeps telling you, oh, this will help you heal, it's lying to you. We don't come equipped with that. That is not inside us. Okay. You have to be conscious about healing. You have to be intentional about healing. You can be hurt with no problem. You can be hurt easily with no effort and on complete autopilot. All right. So your brain is telling you that you need all these answers in order to heal. And that's not true. It's trying to collect all of the ammunition it can possibly gather against your mate. So as you are saying, it is lobbing these bombs of truth, of the answers that you have received into your path every time you feel like you're on the healing path. Every time you feel like you're doing pretty good, things are flowing, you're reconciling, things are feeling okay, it will throw something in your path to try and stop you. That's the only reason your brain is doing this, okay? So I want you to stop asking the questions because that changes how your brain is functioning. If your brain asking a whole bunch of questions is um is if your brain asking a whole bunch of questions is the trauma response in order to heal, we have to do the opposite of that. Okay? We cannot keep doing what the trauma is telling us to do. Okay, we just won't heal like that. It doesn't work that way. You've got to go for the healing thoughts. You've got to go for the more healing behaviors. You got to do that on a regular basis. And not asking the questions is a healing behavior. It is refusing to take the thing that your brain is screaming at you is correct and refusing to take it as the truth. And that takes a little practice. It does. But the more you resist the urge to ask those questions, the more you heal those pathways in your brain that got developed from this trauma. And so if you can resist asking any questions, because your body will try and do that, it will try and steer you into more questions about the affair if you start asking any questions. So try and flip things that you want to say, your questions that you want to ask, flip them around into statements. Simple as like not saying, how was your day? Flipping it around and saying, I hope you had a really great day today. All right. That's a sincere wish, and it's not asking a question, it's not requiring an answer, and that changes the way your brain is functioning in the moment. And the more you do that, the more you'll change your brain. All right. So you gotta stop that. Gotta stop that. And I understand that it is an automatic trauma response. It is something that you want to do and you feel bad not doing. Okay. So if you want to ask questions, I suggest these. The and THEAND. This came from the people at the Skin Deep. You can look this up on Amazon. The and THEAND. Put that into Amazon. It comes up. These are about $30. It's 199 questions, all about healing your relationship. So if you want to ask questions, ask some healing ones instead of some ones that will traumatize you and make you feel god awful for days. All right, does that make more sense? And I'll pick out some questions, but I see we got some things for gratitude. I love gratitude. Yay. Michelle said, hi, Michelle. I says, I'm grateful my husband is stuck with weekly counseling for 2 months now. Oh, that's good. And we are working hard on reconciliation. Still need help with triggers, and I'm glad to join the upcoming class. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Michelle. Yes, we are going to work on the triggers. We are working on that in September 9th. Starting at 11 a.m. If you've not signed up for it, go sign up for it. It's in my link tree on Instagram. It is in the pin post in the Love After Cheating group. Go sign up for the Tricky Triggers Challenge. We are beating them down. We're beating down those triggers. We're figuring out exactly where they come from, what their purposes are, and how to actually like defeat them, how to get them behind us. All right. So that our brains are not stuck with this trigger forever. So, yes, Michelle, I'm so glad that you're joining in on the Tricky Triggers Challenge. Make sure when you sign up, make sure I'm using a new email thing. So sometimes it will go to spam or promotions or whatever. So if you haven't received an email from me, check that. All right. All right, Christina. Hi, Christina. Christina said, I'm very grateful that I am back to walking 4 to 6 miles a day again. Ooh, girl, I've never been able to walk 4 to 6 miles a day. I'm super proud of y'all just off the strength of that. You said, enjoying being back to loving me again. I know that's right, girl. You the queen. You supposed to love you. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. I love that. Good things to be grateful about. And Michelle, I want you to be mindful coming up. If he's been working on weekly counseling for like the last 2 months, counseling brings up stuff. Okay. So just be aware that he's working on it, but sometimes they're kind of jerks. And sometimes the therapy brings up stuff and that they didn't want to be brought up, and it just comes to the surface. They're starting like a jerk. Okay, just you keep on encouraging them. Look, hey, this happens. I understand. You just keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing the hard work. Sometimes it feels like that. Just encourage them, okay? All righty. Fabulous. I love to hear good stuff happening with you all. Thank you so much. All right. So I'll give you a couple of these questions. All right. Oh, that's an interesting one. What makes me me? Would you like to hear good stuff like that? Would you like to hear something positive? What makes me me? I, I would love to hear what my honey has to say when I would ask him that. I might get him to answer that one for me. I'll put that to the side, see, because he appreciates me for me. He thinks that I'm funny. He thinks that I'm sweet. He thinks all sorts of good things about me. So I don't know what makes me me. I would like to hear what he has to say about that. All right. Next one is, what is surprising you most about this conversation so far? Wouldn't that be better questions to ask than what positions they had sex in? Wouldn't that be better questions to ask than how long have you been seeing her? Did you tell her that you loved her? Don't you want to know this answer more than that answer? That answer sucks. That answer leads to pain and suffering. Let's lead to healing. Okay, let's go for some questions that are leading to healing if we have to ask a question. Like I said, try very hard not to ask a question. All right. And one more. When do you doubt me the most and why? Oh, that's a good one. When do you doubt me the most and why? All right, that's excellent. Good questions, right? Aren't those better questions than the ones you want to ask? I'm trying to tell you, you need to make sure that if you are asking a question, if you are taking the time to do that, it is a very good, very well formed question that does not cause you difficulties, does not cause you any more harm than you are already experiencing. Okay. So, and most of us don't know how to do that right off the bat. So, don't ask any questions at all. All right. If you want to work with me, I will tell you the questions. If you want to text me, I have a program where you can just text with me, and I will tell you, hell no, don't say that. I will let you know that you shouldn't do that. Okay. So I am here for you. If you want to work with me on that, you need somebody in your back pocket to tell you, don't ask that question. I will happily do that for you. All right. All right. Now, got the basics out of the way. I am here for you. Tell me some stuff. Ask me some questions. What do you have on your minds this week? What is going on for you? Did y'all survive the full moon this past week? Last Thursday, it was like 4 days before the full moon. So it's like been right in the middle of this week. I was exhausted. I was so sleepy, but I I was trying to just run with however I was feeling in the moment. Because I was giving we give ourselves a hard time about taking a nap. Most moms, most wives, we give ourselves a very difficult time about a nap. I took a nap every day. I took a nap from the 3 days out from the full moon to the day after the full moon. It was like 5 days in a row. I took a nap and it was great. And I didn't give myself a hard time about it. I just went ahead and slept because my body was telling me, you need to sleep. You need to lay down. I couldn't even stay awake. I could not like I could stay awake for real. I was having the most difficult time actually keeping my eyes open. So I gave up and I just decided to go ahead and run with it. Whatever my body was telling me to do, I did. And it worked out so much better for me. I felt so much better. Had a little crying jag watching Hamilton, watched Hamilton one more time and cried about that. Cried about their son dying and cried about the end. For just no reason. But got got a lot of rest, let some tears flow, felt wonderful after full moon pass. How did you all do with it? And are you signed up for my Tricky Triggers Challenge? If you're here with me now, make sure you go. It's at the top of the Love After Cheating page. If you're not in Love After Cheating, please come on and join Love After Cheating because you need to be in there. That's where I am most of the time. But go in there. Love After Cheating is right at the top. If you click on the picture at the top, it says hashtag Tricky Triggers Challenge. Click on that. It will show you the link, or go to the pin post. It will show you the link up there. And it is in the link tree on Instagram. So I want you to join me for the Trigger Trigger Challenge because the triggers were the most difficult part. The triggers come rearing their ugly head when you feel like you're doing well. And that's why they set you back so far. They make you feel like, oh, I am just a complete failure at this. And I thought I was healing. I thought we were reconciling. I thought things were going well. But this trigger is so strong and it's causing me such excruciating pain. I must not be healing. We must not be doing any better. I know that's what the triggers will tell you. Okay. It is not true. It is not true. It does not mean you are back at square one of your healing. That is not what it means. It means that this is a place that you need to heal. That's what it is. That's a spot where the healing is not complete yet. It's a little sore to walk on that spot. So we've got to get that infection out wherever it is. We got to go ahead and get it out and then release that pressure, and then we can continue on with the healing. We can't keep on healing if we got that sore spot just sitting there. All right, a little infection just sitting there messing with us. We got to drain that infection. I speak in medical terms because I was a nurse for a long time, but that's what we got to do. We got to drain the infection out so that it's not all sore and it's not all sick. And then we can move forward. It is a small thing. It's not a whole illness, okay? It's just a little infection. We can work on that one little part, keep on going. All right, that's what we need to do. So we're doing that for the Tricky Triggers Challenge. We are going through every day, working on some part of it. We are going to dive into the physiological stuff that happens, what is actually happening in your brain and inside your body, because the triggers are a real physical thing. This is not in your head. It is not something that you're imagining. This is a real physical thing that is happening inside your body when you're triggered. It's not your imagination. It is real. It is physical. There is something you can do about it. All right. So if we go ahead and figure out exactly what this real physical response is and figure out the real physical way to heal it, it's going to heal. Every time you're going to come up against your triggers, you apply the same thing. You're going to heal that trigger. That's going to get you even closer to your honey, get you even closer to your happy ending. Okay? Got to work on it. Michelle said, is that why I'm exhausted and have muscle tension all over? Yes! That is precisely why, Michelle. And people think that it's imaginary. People think that, oh, well, my heart is aching, but it's not really happening in my body. No, it's really happening in your body. It's a real physical response to what is happening, to the trauma. So if we can figure out exactly what is happening physically and actually work on the physical part, the emotional part is really easy after that. you won't be feeling all exhausted all the time and your muscles all tense. Your muscles tense up, and we're going to go into it in the challenge, but your muscles tense up because of the effects of adrenaline on your system. Your body is in fight or flight mode, and so it's sending adrenaline to your system, but you're not using it for anything. You're not using it to fight, you're not using it to run, and so it's just this excess amount of adrenaline inside your muscles that's making your muscles shake and making them tight and tense all over. It's a physical thing that's happening to you. Okay. So yes, we're gonna talk, we're gonna dive in all into that in the Tricky Triggers Challenge. But that, just so you know, that is a real thing. That is why that is happening to you. This is not all just in our heads because, oh, we got some heartbreak. No, this is a physical bodily response that we are having that is real. That's why deep breathing works. That's why the deep breathing will be effective, because we are changing the breathing pattern of panic and fear and stress to one of more ease, more relaxation, more of the rest and digest instead of the fight or flight. So when we change that breathing pattern, we are telling our bodies what we need them to do in the moment instead of just automatically letting them run wild on autopilot, breathing all heavy and feeling like crap. Okay, that's why it's so important to do your deep breathing. Michelle, be working on that. Do your deep breathing five times a day. If you're doing it consistently, a lot of that exhaustion, a lot of that muscle tension is going to go away, because first of all, you're feeding your muscles more oxygen. If you are all tense and not fully inhaling and fully exhaling, your body is starving for oxygen. Your muscles are hurting because they don't have enough oxygen. So you can just, that is a very simple thing that's going to make your body feel better. And then once your body feels better, it's not this constant feeling of I'm in danger. Because when your body hurts, you feel like you're in danger. You feel like, oh, something must be wrong. I must be under attack because my body is hurting. But it doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that your body is responding to it beforehand. I saw a TikTok the other day, and this anesthesiologist was saying that your body betrays you. If you have symptoms of like PTSD, which is what you get symptoms of PTSD from this trauma too. You get symptoms of PTSD from all types of trauma. But if you are put under in a surgery, he said a lot of people, if their bodies are stuck in that fight or flight response, they'll wake up fighting. They will wake up out of a complete anesthesia, completely unconscious, and wake up fighting for their lives because they feel like they're in danger, because now all of a sudden they're conscious again. And as soon as they get conscious again, all of that floods back to them. It was fascinating. I was like, wow. He says your body will tell. Your body will tell if you have this anxiety going on. So your body shows you. Your body will tell you a lot about the triggers. Whew, I'm talking too much about it because we're gonna go deeper into it on the challenge. But if you have not signed up for it, y'all, come on. It's the most comprehensive thing about the triggers you're going to ever encounter. You're going to get all your questions asked about the triggers, exactly how they work, exactly what to do to combat them. All right. All right. Anybody got any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything going on? Somebody anonymously put a question up here, and I'm glad that you did share this with me. Perfect timing. Anonymous member said, "How do I cope with the fear and sadness I'm feeling? It's been 5 months since we separated, and a few weeks since we started a divorce process. It's been an incredibly dark phase for me, and it feels unbearable." Well, my first thing is, let's stop. Hold on. Why are we separating? Why are we divorcing? If you're not feeling like that is the right um process for you to be going through right now, if that is scaring the heck out of you and it makes you this sad, then it may not be the right thing for you to do. I know everybody always says kick them to the curb. You must be new to the group. I never tell you that. I never say go off and get divorced. If you want to work the relationship out, talk to them about working the relationship out. Don't just go ahead and go through with the divorce process feeling like that's what you have to do. You are not painted in a corner when this has happened. So if you are feeling fear and sadness about that process, you don't want that process, speak up for yourself. Say that that's not what you want. Look, hey, I don't feel like this is the path that we need to go on. This is a dark, you saying that this is a dark phase for you and it's feeling unbearable. Don't bear this. Don't do it. If it is not for you, you don't have to feel like you are trapped into doing it because he has cheated, because he has done the wrong things, because we separated. You don't have to continue on down this path. If it is the dark, dark woods and you feel like it's getting darker and darker, come back out. That's what I have to say about it. Come back out. Message me if you are still having some difficulty, you're not sure how to exactly start putting this back together, message me. I will help you. I do not mind at all. And divorce is expensive and traumatic. And like we're already going through the trauma of the cheating, like adding on the trauma of divorce too. I feel like everybody should just hold off right from the very beginning. Nobody should be making huge decisions after this kind of trauma anyway. And getting a divorce is a huge decision. So I'd say just on general purpose to wait about a year. To wait about a year to see how you feel about it after a year. Because a lot of people just go right to, oh, I'm going to divorce. And then there's a lot of unsolved, unresolved feelings that come up as this divorce process is playing out. And then it's too late. You can't fix it. You can't go back. You can't make sure that you're with the person that you really want to be with. So I say hold off. I say hold off. If you are feeling fearful and sad about what you're doing right now, then you need to take a moment and stop and see if what you're doing is what you really, really want to do. Or if you feel like you're back into a corner and you don't have any other choices. You have choices. Everybody within the sound of my voice, you have choices. There is always a choice in your relationship and you're moving forward. If you want help with that, I will help you. All right. I will. Message me, send me a DM on Instagram, send me a message on Facebook to Love Coach Tasha. It does not matter. I will answer you. I will answer your questions. We will start you down the path if that is what you need. Okay. So, as far as like dealing with the fear and the sadness, if you just feel like the divorce is perfectly right for you, you feel the feeling, you accept that you feel the feeling, and then you keep on going with what you're doing. If you really feel like the divorce is the right thing for you, if you don't love this person anymore, you're not willing to try and work things out anymore, you can feel fear and sadness about that. But you can't let it stop you. So if you are just determined that this is not the right person for you, you just don't feel it anymore for them, and you really want to get divorced, feel the feeling, and then go ahead and continue to push through. Go ahead and continue to push through. Just feel it. You can't really stop the feeling. Coping with them involves feeling them. All emotions are information. They're giving you information. So you have to figure out what the fear and the sadness are giving you information about. And if it's your brain and your body telling you, no, absolutely not, I don't want to get divorced, I don't want this to end, then you need to figure that out before you go any further down the path. Okay? Makes sense? Hope that makes sense. Let's see. Any other questions? Any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? I'm willing to hear it all. Oh, somebody asked a day ago, has anyone felt detached or like they've dissociated from their real life? If so, how long did it last? And more importantly, how were you able to ground yourself in the real world again? I have moments when I know I am present and back in the real world, but too often I feel like I'm just observing my life. Grounding exercises, super important. Bringing yourself back to the here and now right this minute in your body. Doing your deep breathing is a grounding exercise. Following the breath into your body, like visualizing it going all through your body, and then the exhale coming back out of your body, trying to feel that in you will bring you back to your physical body instead of just being in your head. Another good one is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise, which is like you go through your senses. 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and then 1 thing you can taste, I think is what it is. And that helps to ground you too. Anything using your senses, anything using your 5 senses that you have is going to bring you out of that dissociated feeling. It's going to bring you back into your body instead of you just being a head floating around somewhere. Coming back into your body using your senses is how you get back to feeling yourself. So if you feel like I'm feeling a little floaty, I'm floating off, I'm not really in my body, I'm kind of back here, up here, looking down on the situation, do your deep breathing. Feel that breath in and out of your body. Feel like your ribs expand. Um, Try and like feeling all the way down to your lungs, giving your body oxygen, giving your bloodstream oxygen. Like try and like actually feel like everything that you can possibly feel inside your body, doing your deep breathing and ground yourself. Also, a grounding exercise I really like is to go outside with no shoes on. In the summertime, do that. Going outside with no shoes on, actually grounding, putting your feet to dirt, grass. It works. It brings you back into your body. Also, hugging a tree. I used to tell people I used to work at a psychiatric facility, and the people there used to look at me like I needed to be in a gown too when I told them that. But there's something about a life force of a tree, and a tree is steady. You're gonna grab hold of this tree, wrap your arms around it, and it's not gonna move. It is going to be there. It is gonna be steady for you, still reaching for the sky. Grounding yourself in that type of energy brings you right back into yourself. It is a really good feeling. Or just sitting at the base of a tree, put your back to the tree and just feel the energy of the tree coming through your skin, and just paying attention to the fact that you are sitting amongst a network of roots, and they are in the ground and they are drawing things up from the ground. You're in that sphere when you're sitting up against a tree. It is remarkably grounding. It is. So if you're feeling like you're detached, you're like a head floating above the clouds, do things that ground you and feel like real grass and real dirt underneath your feet. It's very grounding. All right. And let's see. Anything else? Any other questions? Y'all got anything else for me? Make sure you message me if you're having difficulties, if you need some extra help. I got extra help to give. Okay. I will help you. I want you to heal from this. I don't want you to be hurting from this anymore. I feel like you have hurt long enough. And damn long enough. You have hurt plenty. All right. It's time to start the healing. It's time to climb out of the hole. It's time to get out of the dark, dark woods. Whatever metaphor you want to use for it, it is time for you to heal. It's time for you to be in a better place. The healing that you have to do, you would do whether you're with them or not. So might as well just go ahead and do it with them. And then, sometime later, if you feel like later on this relationship just isn't for you, but you've already started to heal. You started to heal, you started to forgive, you started to move forward, but you still don't feel like, this relationship is just not for me now. You can decide that later on, but you don't want to decide that in the midst of the trauma. We need to get the trauma under control, and then you can make big decisions. Then you can do that. But if the trauma is not under control, you're going to make messed up decisions for your life. You're going to make decisions based upon fear and trauma and pain, and not for the happy ending that you actually want. And so then the more you take those steps towards that negativity, the further you are from what you actually want. So I don't want you to be wandering in the woods anymore. I want to guide you out. Okay. First step is to get with me on the tricky triggers challenge. All right. They are tricky. They are. They will give you a hard time. However, I will teach you everything you need to know. It's a little mini class about everything that you need to know about overcoming the triggers. Every bit of it, where they come from, all of it will be covered in the class. So if you've got questions, make sure you send me questions too. Make sure if you got questions particularly about triggers, about a certain trigger, that how you react to it, how you respond to it, whatever. Send me all your questions because I want to hear about it, and I want to make the challenge as perfect as we can possibly get it, as close to covering everything about triggers as we can possibly get it. All right. All right, y'all. I think that's about it. I don't see any questions. So I'm going to tell you the last thing that I always tell you every time we get together. I want you to start doing your affirmations. Have you been doing your affirmations? Okay. I need you to do that. I need you to jump on that. I need you to take the time to sit and look at yourself in the mirror, look at yourself in the camera, and say your affirmations like you mean them. Give your brain that recording of you saying it like you really, really mean it, so that your brain can fall back on that as the default position about yourself, instead of the negative things that our brains will try and make up when we're in the midst of a trauma. It will tell you all sorts of horrible things about yourself that aren't even true if you're in the midst of a trauma, So make sure that your brain has a record of you saying that you are wonderful and kind and beautiful and lovely and respectful and wonderful person that you are. All right. Make sure that your brain has that. Even if you don't fully believe it, that's fine. It does not matter, because your brain can't tell the difference between make believe and real. All right. Your brain doesn't have that capability. So if you make believe real good, and you tell your brain the affirmation of the day, today I am respectful. Today I will acknowledge other people's thoughts and feelings as well as my own. And you say that, and you say it like you mean it, say it like you believe it, say it like it's very true that you are super respectful. Your brain doesn't know the difference between you really being that or not. It doesn't know. You can tell it whatever you want. You can tell your brain whatever you feel like, and it will believe you. Okay? So as long as you're not telling yourself something dangerous, it's fine. All right? As long as you're not telling yourself something that can hurt you, it doesn't matter what it is that you're saying. You just go for it. Okay? Don't even restrict yourself. Tell yourself all the good things and try and make your brain believe. All right? So that's the affirmation for today. I got these off Five Below. Got these from Five Below. I think they were $4. You can find different sets of them on Etsy, on Amazon. If you're having a hard time thinking of affirmations for yourself, here you go. All right, but today I am respectful. Today I will acknowledge other people's thoughts and feelings as well as my own. All right. All right, y'all. I think that's about it. I think that's all I got for you today. Make sure, if you haven't signed up for the challenge, you do. And if you are seeing me on Instagram, make sure that you get my guide to healing and reconciling after infidelity. It is the whole dreams formula that I have dreamed up for healing. All right. So if you put path or healing path in the comments, it will send you the trigger, send you the link for the guide. And in Love After Cheating, it is on the pin post, and it's on the Welcome Wednesday post. So you can find it everywhere. Make sure you get a copy and read it. Okay. Don't just get a copy. Don't just sign up for it and then don't read it, okay? I need you to read it because I put some hard work into this and it explains to you all of the things that you're going to need to do to heal and to reconcile after infidelity. Almost every problem that you're going to have is going to come into one of the categories that I have broken it down for in the dreams formula, okay? Any problem that you have, you're probably going to be able to figure out where it fits in the formula and be able to work from there. All right. So I want you to do that. Get that. I want to give you as much stuff as I possibly can. Free stuff. Just try to work on it. I want you all to have the resources that you need to be able to do this because this is not an easy thing that you're trying to do. To heal and get things back together and work things out and avoid a divorce and avoid having your children split up between all of that. I understand that you're trying to do that. That's a very difficult thing to do. I want to give you all of the help that I possibly can give you to be able to do that. Okay? All right, y'all. I think that's it. That's all she wrote. Don't see any other questions. No, no, nothing in there, nothing up there. Try to make sure I don't miss anybody's questions because I absolutely love your questions. I love hearing every question that you all have and what is going on with your situations. I love giving you the answers because it took me a while to figure this stuff out. All right. I had to do some serious work on my own to be able to figure this stuff out. And I don't feel like you all should have to do that much work. I feel like I know it, so now you should know it. All right. All right, y'all. That's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I will be back again next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the next episode. In the meantime, go sign up for the Tricky Triggers Challenge. Get your copy of How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. And I will see you again next week. All right. Bye, y'all. Bye, Instagram. Oh, and I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you. Bye. And bye over here to YouTube and Facebook. Bye.